Normally they go middle or stand side, he will stay on the fence. I see Mark Johnson's horse on my right, keep going, and I was thinking, well, for runners, if I'm going to be stuck there, it looks a bit difficult. And then when the horse get tired, definitely they always start to shift one side or the other. And actually when I start to move out, because the funny horse was a bit like getting tired, the horse in front of me, when I was already hung out and then coming out, started to hang out of me, and then he was a bit like, well, I get a horse. If I stay on the fence and they open up and I keep going, it looks, oh wow, what a ride. But for runners, I think we're looking just to make sure that we get a clear run. If the horse is good enough, like he did, it make a difference.
Play the percentages. And the white gloves, the ubiquitous white gloves that you're famed for as well. Where did all that start, the white gloves anyway, by the way? You always ride in gloves, don't you, as well? It's become a trademark of yours over here now, Charles.
Well, people say that, but actually they have to go back a while ago. But since my first ride in '83, I wear white gloves. And all my career, I never ride even one single race without gloves.
Oh, really?
I don't feel comfortable because I always it's kind of double skin, and then I feel better when I get even in the morning, but they're not white. In the morning they're black color.
Oh, I see.
If you want to know, but I think in the afternoon white color is always better because I think it's nice to present, and it make it like respect from people employing you.
I like it. Stylish, very stylish. We'd expect nothing less. Global Gift, a nice winner. It was nice to meet you, and we appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate that. It was lovely to be here today, only for one ride, but he answered.
Sounds like a good day.
That's a good day and happy days for on the way back home. You find the long way shorter.
Definitely. Safe home. Safe journey home.
Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers.
The fantastic Gerald Mosse in conversation with Peter Norton there about his winner of the last race. What's going to win this? Punters think Moon King is 5-4 from 11-8. Rochester House 9-2. 6 is See You Soon. 8-1 Divine Gift. Dora 9s. 12's Tidal Point and No Dress Rehearsal. The outsider at 20s. Just the 7 runners. What colour are your gloves, Peter?
They're blue and they're thick and they're woolly, because I'm always outside, aren't I, in this dreadful weather. Not at the helm of the ship like you. You steer the helm with your gloves as well, don't you? Steer the good ship, Racing TV, Angus. We've got Ben with us, gloveless, but he's got his fancy notepad. He's got one of these pads, Angus. You and me are too old for this, although you've got the special screen down there, haven't you? He's got a screen that you can actually write with a pen onto a screen. It blows my mind. What have you got written down there, Ben?
Well, See You Soon, I think, is, as I've said already, I think is interesting in this race. I think a number of them are interesting, so I have backed him, but I've not gone in hard. I think Moon King is sure to be suited by this sort of test. He's already improved loads this season, but he's a horse that, under a penalty, you don't want to be aggressively against, I don't think. But brings me back to a point, actually. See the Moon, as I mentioned earlier, a really strong influence of stamina and soft ground handling progeny, and we've got Moon King by See the Moon, we've got also See You Soon, and also Tidal Point. So 3 of them are by that sire, and I think that's going to be a sign of things to come, really. These sort of handicaps over this sort of distance in the coming years, we'll see plenty of See the Moon influencing a lot of stamina, and that will be the name of the game today, obviously, over this trip on this sort of ground. And See You Soon has already proven himself on very deep ground, and I thought he ran a nice race at Chester, and then I thought that the quick ground essentially didn't suit him on his most recent start at Sandown. I wouldn't rule out Rochester House either if he gets a more positive ride. He's certainly got the sort of pedigree that you'd imagine would see him run well on softer ground. He's out of a Monson mare by Galileo. I also thought No Dress Rehearsal was one, perhaps not for today, but in future. So I thought essentially all 7 of them have got some sort of interest for the future. Divine Gift's been backed all day. He was a big price on the sort of morning prices. He was 14-1. He's now half that price. He met a bit of trouble at Chester last time, and was also another of those horses that ended up doing a lot of racing on the unfavoured inside. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him run well. I thought a really competitive race, and the one that I'm probably looking forward the most on this card.
Yeah, that well back Divine Gift has a Monty Roberts rug. The two fillies, 3 and 6, jockeys both had their feet out of the irons. Momentarily, David Probert had 2 on See You Soon, who is the selection of Ben Fernley. Last one going forward for the Join Racing TV Now handicap over 1 mile and 6.
They're off. 1 3/4 is the trip here, so furlong and a half run to the winning post, and then 1 complete circuit for this Join Racing TV Now handicap. Early on, light blue of Divine Gift against the running rail Dora, and the yellow star on the cap nearest to us of Rochester House of the leading trio. The yellow, No Dress Rehearsal round the outside, broke a little bit awkwardly, but is up now through into 3rd position as they make their way past the 1.5 mile start. In the blue is Tidal Point. The favourite Moon King is against the running rail. Green jacket, black sleeves and white cap for Harry Bentley. And he's about 1.5 lengths ahead of David Probert in blue and yellow. On See You Soon, it was the back marker of the septet as they begin the run now down towards the last 1.25 miles. So Richard Kingscote in light blue on Divine Gift. Set the pace, little over 1 length ahead. Looks like a narrow 2nd position for Franny Norton on the white-faced Rochester House. Eddie Greatrix in black and red colours on Dora is alongside. There's about 1 length behind those. Yellow of No Dress Rehearsal and Nathan Evans sitting widest on the course. A blue jacket for Royston French on Tidal Point is next, and then the black sleeves on a green jacket Moon King looking for victory number 4 of the season. Harry Bentley and the blue and yellow See You Soon and David Probert continue to be at the rear of the field as they move down the back straight, moving on towards the halfway point. Divine Gift, carrying the top weight, continues to have the advantage. Leads by around about 1 length. Rochester House in 2nd place. Then the noseband on the left is No Dress Rehearsal. Dora, black and red, tucked away against the running rail, and the blue of Tidal Point is in company with her. Then comes Moon King with See You Soon, still fractionally the back marker, but there's only 5 or 6 lengths between the lot of them now as they're making that bottom turn and heading on towards the home straight, down towards the last 5 furlongs. Divine Gift still has the advantage. Rochester House with the white face showing in 2nd place. Dora is on the right there in 3rd place. On the left is No Dress Rehearsal. Between those is Tidal Point. Then See You Soon and Moon King together. They're still the last couple of runners as they're well inside the final half mile now. Still, it is Divine Gift shaking up in front but holding on to a narrow advantage over Rochester House. 1.5 lengths behind those to Dora. Here comes Moon King now on the right with a white cap, trying to get into contention as No Dress Rehearsal's dropped out of contention. Back in 5th position is Tidal Point. 2 furlongs to go. It's a long way from home yet. Rochester House towards the left. On the right is Moon King. They've gone either side and ahead now of Divine Gift. Tidal Point behind those, and now Moon King heads down towards the furlong pole and is asserted by 2 or 3 lengths. Rochester House in 2nd position. Tidal Point behind those in 3rd and running on for 2nd place maybe, but this is Moon King, victory number 4 of the season with Harry Bentley wins. Tidal Point wasn't beaten that far in the end in 2nd place. Rochester House in 3rd, Divine Gift in 4th.
Strong handicapping form this, isn't it? Really is, and I like the style of the winner Moon King. Found plenty for pressure. This is a horse on the up, this 3-year-old. He's beat his own generation in fine style and he's loved this testing ground. 11-10 favourite. That's a 4-timer for Rafe Beckett's horse, Harry Bentley's mount. Look at the second though, Tidal Point. Steph Hollins says she's got a smart type on her hands. Daughter of See the Moon, like the winner, same sire, and has run tremendously well. Was closing down Moon King at the line as well. And Rochester House has returned to form, finishing 3rd. Divine Gift, who led early, well backed, has finished 4th.
Yeah, 1-2 for See the Moon and win number 4 for Moon King, who's just been relentlessly progressive this season over this sort of trip, and he's going to win again, isn't he? The way he's done that, he's essentially had the race won, and then he's essentially been eased down the final half furlong, and those late gains for Tidal Point were cheap really on the winner because the winner's value for far more than he's won by. And
take the winner out, I still think it's a good effort by the second
definitely, yeah. I mean, I thought that he was possibly a bit flattered last time. They didn't go particularly hard at Sandown when he finished midfield in that contest, but this was a more solid race, I think, in terms of the fact that they've got properly sorted out. I don't think they went particularly hard. I think they went a sensible enough gallop in the conditions, but they finished well strung out, as you'd imagine, over this sort of trip on this sort of ground. And I think Tidal Point has run a really promising race in second as well, and he's well on top of Rochester House in third, who's returned to form under a more positive ride this time.
He's a 3-year-old. He's raced over 1 mile and 6. He stays really well. He could end up a 90-something horse, this, couldn't he, in time? You think he's like a Melrose type of a horse?
I think he's essentially a horse that has been handicapped, given an opening mark in the 60s, and he probably is a 90-plus horse, isn't he? And that's exactly what we're finding out this season. He's been well placed by Rafe Beckett, who's found him opportunities under a penalty, so that he hasn't necessarily had to carry much better weight in better races. But this was a better race than he'd been contesting for sure. This was a really competitive 0-85 for 3-year-olds. Basically, all the field had something to recommend them on coming into it, and he's torn them apart again, hasn't he? And he's going to be up into the 80s, probably the high 80s on the back of this now after 2 wins, this under a penalty. But who's to say that he can't win next time out again, because he's just going places, isn't he?
Is it the way he goes through the race that